Detective Pikachu, Detective Pikachu, Detective... Okay, no, I'll stop that. Yes! So I went to see Pokemon Detective Pikachu, as evidenced by this worn-out shirt. Oh, jeez, I hate these shirts for one reason, is that whenever they go in the wash, they get ruined. And this one's been washed several times, just hasn't fallen apart quite yet. But anyway, I went to see the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie last week with my mother. Took her out for a movie for Mother's Day. Sweet things to do. Probably not the best movie to take your mother out for, but she expressed, because I was the person most interested in seeing it, but she expressed some interest in seeing it as well. So anyway, I'm going to I'm going to kind of express my thoughts, what I thought of the movie, what, if you haven't seen it, what you might expect, because there's a tremendous amount of people, especially at work, who haven't seen the movie quite yet. So anyway, the general feeling I got from this movie was awesome. Ryan Reynolds playing as Pikachu was probably the best decision they could have ever made, because Pokemon started out as a kid's thing, and yet it has encompassed, or has grown to encompass, a larger age group. And the writers of this movie knew that. They knew it. The producers knew it. The casters knew it. They all knew it. It encompassed a larger age group than it once did. And the writing in the movie, I think, does a very good job expressing that. There's literally a part of the movie where they joke about snorting cocaine, and I think that's probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a Pokemon movie ever. I wish they were more like this. You joke about, well, it doesn't really matter if you're snorting cocaine, isn't it? Anyway, but the general feeling I got from this movie was actually pretty good. The acting, some were good, some were bad. Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds is just a given when it comes to any movie that he plays a character in. It's just, the movie does also take on a bit of a more mature feel to it. It's just that for many years the Pokemon community has been asking Nintendo to include more mature themes in the games, movies, the anime, and basically anything. And to be honest, the manga has done this for years. If you've read the Pokemon Adventures manga, I won't go too deep into it, but if you've read the Pokemon Adventures manga, during the Gen 3 days where Ruby and Sapphire was a thing, you had the characters Ruby and Sapphire. Basically the story tells, not to spoil anything, but basically the story tells that Ruby gets attacked by a Salamence while him and Sapphire were playing, and Ruby gets attacked by, I think I said that, Ruby gets attacked by a Salamence, he gets slashed brutally, and there's a part of the page that shows Ruby bleeding profusely. And that was, like, the manga doesn't have any trouble with mature themes. Like, they're okay with that. But Nintendo, being Nintendo, really doesn't like that kind of thing. But if this movie is any indication, I would say they're moving towards that thing where there's more mature themes. I mean, if a joke about snorting cocaine in what seems like a kid's movie to begin with is any indication, then I'm all for it. Just not all for the actual snorting cocaine. That would be bad. In terms of what I thought about the Pokemon model designs, well, when I first saw the trailer, I was a little bit skeptical about it. It's just, I wasn't too fond. I'd like to clarify, I'm not too fond of taking a cartoony anime character and translating that into a live action. The Full Metal Alchemist live action adaptation, although it was okay in my opinion, I really didn't care for the live action adaptation as a whole. Death Note, you all know how that was. It was awful all around to begin with. But this movie, the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie, actually does the translation from cartoon to live action extremely well. I mean, to be honest, it was just, they knew what they were doing. They weren't going for too much hyper-realism. They went for hyper-realism, and I'm okay with a little bit of that, but some movies go way beyond what they need to do, and they make hair so hyper-realistic, it's not even funny. But the characters, like the models in this game, or not game, what am I talking, this is not, movie, gotta not stop saying game, they are actually well done. They're not creepy, more or less. They're not, you know, so distracting, although they are distracting a little bit because some of them are absolutely adorable. But they do it very well. And Pikachu's model is probably what I think like the best. It's the best balance between the original design faithfulness to this modern take on the series. I mean, it's not that Pokemon was that old to begin with, but even still, I think they did it pretty well. And there has been some talk about a sequel to this movie, and if that's true, I'm all for it. I am very all for it because this movie was fantastic in even its own right, even as a testing the waters kind of thing to see if this whole concept would work. And I think I'm very excited to see what the second movie may bring. Now, there may be some spoilers ahead, but there is a particular scene in the movie that I think really hit home for me. Now, it may require a little bit of context to explain, so I'll explain this briefly. I won't spoil too much, if at all, and yeah. So, there's a scene in the movie where Torterra, or like gigantic Torterras, was that plural? I don't know, are rising out of the ground, causing the entire mountain to just completely deform and terraform. And at one point during this ordeal, a rock falls off the mountain and hits Pikachu in the stomach, and he falls over. And he's not looking too good after that. And he's, after a little bit of, talk about like, I'm not doing so good, like everyone's gonna save you, a Bulbasaur appears, and that Bulbasaur and a herd of them just leads Tim, and this other girl, I can't remember the name, jeez, and Tim and this girl to a rock. Now, when Pikachu's laid down on this rock, a small amount of blood is visible. And that kind of, it's like, I'm not saying a small amount of blood because that's all he's bleeding. It's like, you could see it and you can tell it's thick, so he's bleeding quite a bit. And that, to me, not to be sadistic or anything, but that to me is a big departure from the norm for the Pokemon franchise. Like, I know snorting cocaine, like joking about snorting cocaine is funny and all, but seeing that level of violence in the franchise that has tried to set itself up to look like it's not, sadistic violence and dogfighting and just a harmless, fun battle time, seeing this, even if it wasn't the result of a battle, but seeing this kind of weird, unusual thing to see in this kind of movie really hit home for me because I'm part in the camp where I want more mature themes in the Pokemon franchise. It needs to. They cannot keep, pandering to little kids because that's not the majority of the audience that they are pandering to are not little kids. And I think that they knew exactly how to do this. Now you didn't see a whole lot of it. Like you could his hands are covering the wound, but again you can see it's pretty thick blood, and that scene really hit home for me. And that really brings me to the emotional side of this movie. And I'm not going to spoil this particular part. I'm not going to say anything really too deep about it, but the ending of this movie will make you cry. Like, on average, 9 times out of 10, it will make you cry because it is so sad at the end. Not to say that Pikachu dies, it's just if you see the movie, you'll know. But that really hit home for me. That's all we have to say about it. But I couldn't go one movie without anything bad happening. Okay, so story time. Story time. Do I really want to talk about this? Do I really do? Come on. It was so bad to be. Okay, I'll stop this whole skit thing. Just tell you. So they're showing the traditional trailers that accompany this movie before the movie kind of thing. They always do this. And during one trailer, I was like, what if they showed the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer? No, they wouldn't do that. No! It's not like they would be so stupid to show that. And guess what? The next trailer was a Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and I was cringing. I was like, oh, how could they do this to me? Why? And with my mother there, I mean, she was completely, she was bonkers about it, but she was like, ah. It's like, how could they do so bad about this? I know they're video game franchises, I know that, but don't show the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer in any respect until they fix it. And I was like, no, it's like, don't do this to me. Good thing it's a short trailer, which probably means they knew exactly how bad it was, despite the fact that they released a trailer anyway. But that was the kind of thing, they showed the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer immediately after I was thinking it. I don't know what's going on with that. What am I even doing? Anyway, one last thought is, because there's not really any thoughts I have on the movie anymore, it's just kind of like my own thoughts on the movie itself. Don't go see this movie at AMC. Here in Huntsville, we have only a handful of theaters. There's like Hollywood 18, there's some movie theater on Bridge Street I can't remember the name of, but there's only other 2 theaters in this entire city, and they're both AMC. Don't ever see it at AMC, because they are bad movie theaters. Like, jeez, like, like a few years ago, like, you could get it like for 2 people. It was like $10, $20, like $10, $15. Now it's $30 for 2 people. They charged me $6 for a medium drink. And I'm sorry if this sounds like a big rant about how I hate AMC. I'm just saying I hate AMC. And now they have assigned seats. What the hell? Don't go see it at AMC, it's bad. If you got a local movie theater or something that's not AMC, go see it there. Just see it there. It's like, AMC's awful now because they think they have a monopoly and they don't. You can't have a monopoly, at least I don't think you can in a movie theater space when there's a lot of smaller theaters popping up all over the place. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Pokemon Detective Pikachu. It's overall a very good movie. Faithfulness to the original source material is actually really good. The acting can be hit or miss sometimes, but the moments you see in the game, I said it again! The movie, are very good. I would say it's probably one of my favorite Pokemon movies, and there's a lot of Pokemon movies I love. Rise of Darkrai, Power of Us, Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. Some of those rank as part of my favorite Pokemon movies of all time, but this one is like right up there with them, like right up there. And I cannot wait for the sequel to come out because that's going to be an awesome thing. Oh yeah, can't wait for that to come out. But anyway, I'm going to stop blabbering now. Thanks for joining me. I guess I'll see you in another Let's Play video if I can get them out fast enough.